Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me this week. This week we are going to talk about sharing the gospel. And if you remember from past videos, we talked about the word gospel. And gospel means what? Gospel means the good news. The good news of what? Of Jesus. The good news of Jesus. So that is what we're going to talk about today. We are going to start with our Bible lesson. And our Bible lesson is called The Great Commission. And it's coming from our Spark Story Bible. And if you would like to follow along, I am on page 496. 496. The Great Commission. Jesus went to see the disciples after he had been raised from the dead. They buzzed with excitement. "Is that you, Jesus? We're so glad to see you. Do you want something to eat?" Jesus smiled. "Peace be with you," he said. "I have things to tell you." The disciples gathered close around Jesus, eager to listen to him. Jesus began, "God has given me all the power in heaven and earth." The disciples looked at each other and began chattering again. "Whoa, wonderful, we knew it, fantastic. What will you do first?" "Wait," Jesus said, "there's more." The disciples listened carefully. "Go everywhere in the world and teach people about me. And remember, I will always be with you." Jesus returned to heaven. The happy disciples soon began the work Jesus had told them to do. So our reading today was short, but some big things were happening. So Jesus had raised from the dead, and he is meeting with his disciples one last time, and he's giving them final instructions. And do you remember what his final instructions were? He said, "Go everywhere in the world and teach people about me." So go everywhere in the world and teach people everything that he has taught them. And did they do that? Yes, we know that they did that, right? They traveled, and we talked about that last week. Was travel easy back when Jesus was alive? No. So people were traveling by camel and by donkey and by foot, but they went forward and they did exactly what Jesus asked them to do. Now, the spreading of the good news, the spreading of the gospel of Jesus and his love, that is called evangelize. And you're going to hear the word evangelize in the video that is coming up, so be sure to listen for it.
Wow, Pastor Pete is on fire with his sermon today. The story of the Great Commission is amazing. Wait, what did he just say? Well, Pastor Pete didn't say it, Jesus said it, but still. Go and make disciples of all nations!
Wait, does Jesus mean that I should be making disciples of all nations?
Yes, you! Get out there and evangelize! Go forth!
Okay!
All right, Gabe, walk right up to the first person you see and tell them all about Jesus.
Excuse me, let me tell you about Jesus Christ and his... perhaps if they weren't going so fast.
There, the movie theater. I bet there's a lot of people in there.
Really? Okay.
Play it cool, Gabe. Wait for your opening and then tell her all about Jesus.
1 box of gumdrops, please.
Here's your change.
You know who else brought change? Jesus. Why don't I tell you all about him?
Miss Donaldson, I'm taking my break now.
If I can't have cake, no one will!
Gabe, you've been in this movie for 25 minutes and you haven't told anyone about Jesus.
It just seems rude to interrupt the movie.
I think it's more rude not to interrupt everyone to tell them about Jesus. It's probably what Jesus would want.
All right. Attention moviegoers! I'd like to take this lull in the action to tell you about Jesus.
We're trying to watch the movie!
You know who else was trying to do something important?
Well, that went pretty well.
Well, I interrupted their movie.
You need to get out there, Gabe. No one built a world religion out of love, rainbows, and unicorns.
Actually, that's exactly what Jesus did. Well, not the unicorns part.
Wow, really?
Yes. Maybe when Jesus said, make disciples of all nations, he was saying that we should live by his example and invite others to do the same, not yell at people.
Oh. Well, how do we do that?
Well, what if we volunteered at that soup kitchen over there? We could help the hungry like Jesus would.
And then we yell at them about Jesus?
No. If Jesus comes up, I'll talk with them about him and how he's affected my life. But the main thing I'm going to do is help those people.
And then afterwards, we could go back to the theater and actually watch that movie.
And get popcorn this time.
With butter!
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah!
Go forth, Team Gabe!
So, did you catch the word evangelize in the video? So Gabe was trying to figure out the best way to evangelize. And evangelize means to share Jesus' teachings and his love. And he was having a difficult time because his timing wasn't so great. You know, maybe in the middle of a movie theater, not the best choice. But then it clicked when he looked over at the soup kitchen. He thought, if I live a life that Jesus would live, and what would that be like? What would that look like? A kind and loving life that I could invite others to do the same. So he realized that if he did a kind, loving act like help out at the soup kitchen, it would be an example for other people. And when the opportunity arose, then he was going to share his knowledge about Jesus. He was going to share Jesus' love with others. So that's how he chose to do it. Now, how you choose to talk about it is up to you. So maybe you invite a friend to church, or maybe you let a friend know that you're praying for them, or maybe there's a really great Bible story that you really enjoy, and maybe you share that with a friend. So when you are doing that, you are doing exactly what Jesus had asked his disciples to do, the Great Commission, which is spreading the word about him. How about we put our hands together and we bow our heads for our closing prayer? Dear God, thank you that through Jesus, you invite us into a relationship with you. Help us remember to extend that invitation to other people that we meet. Amen. Now, friends, you go and continue being kind and awesome, and I will see you next time. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.